Welcome to the hottest movie review on the internet today, the A-List Review. I am your host, the Game Changer, Wes Troop. And once again, I'm joined by my co-host, Tito the Cat. We should actually make that a thing. That would actually be cool. He's actually sleeping. He must have just seen one of the movies I've seen, called By the Sea. But, well, let's not get ahead of ourselves like Prince Ludwig. First up, I've got 4 big movies for you this week. 2 that, well, one is the only new release this week, it's the horror comedy known as Krampus. And one might be still playing somewhere around here, the Angelina Jolie Pitt Vanity Project, By the Sea. A film I finally got to catch up on DVD, starring James Franco and Jonah Hill, called True Story. True Story, bro. And it came back in theaters for a special edition screening. I did not get the chance to see the Riff Tracks version because it wasn't playing anywhere around here. But I did get the chance to watch the movie itself, the holiday classic, Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny. Yeah, so 4 movies that have absolutely nothing in common. Awesome. Well, Krampus and Ice Cream Bunny do, because they take place around Christmas. That's it. But let's kick off the show first with the holiday horror comedy. It's a lot of things, this movie. Let's kick it off with my review of Krampus. A young boy is depressed that time has changed how his family used to celebrate Christmas. His parents have kind of drifted apart, his sister doesn't bother with him as much, and his cousins are, well, hellions. After a fight with the relative, he rips up his letter to Santa, which catches the attention of an evil holiday spirit who looks to punish the bad, known as Krampus. The family will have to band together in order to fight off Krampus and his minions and survive the not-so-jolly holiday. So what did I think of Krampus? I thought it's a campy and creepy holiday horror film. When I saw the trailer, I was very excited to see this film, as it reminded me of movies I enjoyed from the 80s or 90s. A throwback. I was worried when I saw the PG-13 rating, but thankfully this is one of the best horror flicks with that rating to come out in recent years. I like the humorous bits, such as some of Krampus's little helpers, the gingerbread men, who look straight out of Shrek attacking the family. There are some elements, though, that can be considered terrifying between a monsterish-looking jack-in-the-box, weird-looking elves, and of course the goat-hooved weird Krampus himself. Even the settings can be unsettling, from the dark and snow-filled streets where creatures are lurking in the snow, to the attic where toys begin to move on their own. The first time we see the creature is a highlight, as he chases one of the characters jumping from rooftop to rooftop. There's a bit of a slow build, seeing the dysfunctional fighting about problems or certain things that they don't like about each other, but it certainly is worth the payoff. The cast stars Adam Scott and Toni Collette as Tom and Sarah, the husband and wife who are having their relatives over for Christmas, David Koechner and Allison Tolman as Howard and Linda, Sarah's sister and brother-in-law who have many differences of opinions than the rest of the family, Conchata Farrell as Aunt Dorothy, the curmudgeon-y relative who wasn't even invited, M.J. Anthony as Max, the young boy who causes Krampus and his friends to torment the family, Stefina LaVie Owen as Beth, Max's sister, who goes out in the blizzard to check on her boyfriend and doesn't come back, and Krista Stadler as Omi, not the guy that sings Cheerleader. Oh, I think that I found myself a Krampus. Anyway, Tom's mother, who has dealt with the spirit in the past. Krampus is the right blend of silly and scary, and could easily be a new holiday classic with the right audience. I'm gonna give it the rating of A-list approved. That's right. I'm not drunk. I'm gonna give it the A-list seal of approval. Now, next up on the show, we've got, you may have seen the previews, you may have heard the horror stories about coming out of this, but I did sit and watch it. It stars Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie Pitt. As well, she does a lot of other things in the movie than just star in it. You'll find out. Here's my review of By the Sea. In the mid-70s France, a couple is trying to work out their problems with each other while on an extended trip. The husband, a struggling writer trying to write another big hit, and the wife trying to get over a tragic experience. They end up making friendships with their neighbors and other locals, and end up doing some odd things to try to rekindle their marriage. So what did I think of By the Sea? I thought it's a dull and depressing drama. Angelina Jolie Pitt wrote, directed, produced, and stars in the film, and really just makes this feel like a bad vanity project and a try at Oscar bait. Unfortunately for her, the only awards this will probably win is a Razzie Award. There are dozens of scenes that just show Jolie on the balcony smoking a cigarette as minute-long clips, as well as many shots of the two looking off into the distance for an extended time. Oh, so stunning. One of the only good things about the film is the beautiful French scenery. There's also so much time dedicated to the husband just eating, drinking, and getting drunk in the local cafe, and the wife just lounging around the hotel suite. Soon the wife finds there's a hole in the wall and spies on the newlyweds next door having sex. Yeah. That's usually frowned upon. The husband finds out and decides to watch with her and drink wine while they do it through the peephole to try and rejuvenate their sex life. They then befriend the honeymooners, try to get them drunk, and just see what happens. Between this, the couple bickers and yell at each other for a long length of time. The dialogue in the script is weak and even cringeworthy. The biggest flaw, though, is that we're given no reason to care about the characters or anything that's happening on the screen. Jolie's character also does horrible things and always makes herself look to be the victim in any situation. Brad Pitt stars as Roland, the author trying to get some new ideas for his latest book, and Angelina Jolie Pitt as Vanessa, a former dancer and Roland's wife who seems to create drama everywhere she goes. Also in the cast, Melanie Laurent as Leia, and Melville Poupard, past the Grey Poupard, as Francois, the newly married couple on their honeymoon in the suite next door, and Niels Arstrup as Michel, the owner of the cafe Roland spends hours each day at. By the Sea may sound good to some people on paper, but ends up being a snore fest, and will most likely make you seasick. I'm gonna give it the rating of, hey Angelina, I got 2 words for ya. Suck it! Alright. Now, this is a movie I finally got to see on Netflix through the DVD. It's not streaming yet. It was in limited release back in April, I think it came out in limited release. But it just came on DVD a couple months ago. I finally got to check it out. I'm a big fan of both of these guys, so I wanted to see what this was going to be like. It is a crime drama starring Jonah Hill and James Franco. Here's my review of True Story. A journalist for the New York Times gets fired for lying in a new magazine article. It soon brought to his attention that his name was used when a wanted murderer was caught in Mexico. He is accused of killing his wife and 3 children. The writer contacts the prisoner about visiting him and asking him a few questions. They meet, and the prisoner says he wants the journalist to listen to his side of the story and write it for the public. The two begin to meet more often, and as the prisoner is about to go on trial, the writer wonders if he actually is innocent. So what did I think of True Story? I thought it's a mediocre crime drama. Now this film is called True Story, is based off of a book called True Story, which is based, you guessed it, on a true story. Alright then. The film starts out as intriguing as the story unravels, but doesn't really go anywhere. Things really begin to drag toward the middle, as it just seems like the movie is treading water until the finale. Once we get to a certain point, the audience realizes that the ending we're going to get is pretty inevitable. There's also no suspense or thrills to be found, and it ends up just making things bland. Nice performances from the cast, though, starring Jonah Hill as Michael Finkel, the esteemed former writer who nabbed 10 cover stories in the span of 3 years. He soon gets caught up in his latest project dealing with gruesome murders. James Franco takes a creepy turn as Christian Longo, the man accused of killing his family and throwing their bodies into water, who wants to give his take on the tragedy, and Felicity Jones as Jill, Michael's wife, who isn't thrilled with him spending so much time with Christian and believes he's guilty. True Story is an interesting idea, but turns into a drawn-out version of an episode of Law and Order. I'm gonna give it the rating of meh. It's okay. And finally, like I said earlier, the Riff Tracks Live was a re-release of this film in theaters, and certain theaters didn't come here, so I just watched the actual movie on YouTube. It's on there. If you want to torture yourself, you can. Here's my review of Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny. Santa Claus's sled is stuck on a beach in Florida. His reindeer take off and leave him because of the heat. He calls on some kids for help, and they try to come up with ideas to get the sled out of the sand. While waiting, Santa tells them a story for inspiration. So what did I think of Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny? I thought it is a torturous Christmas film. I knew when kids not singing in unison or on key dressed as elves were in the first shot, it was going to be quite the experience. Santa then sings a terrible song about his problems, pretending to conduct an orchestra and give us a weird glimpse of kids who will come to help him. For some odd reason, Tom Sawyer and Huck Finn pass by and hide in the bushes and do absolutely nothing. The kids bring all kinds of different animals, from a horse to a pig to even what we know is a man in a gorilla suit, to try to move the sleigh. During all of this, I thought it was still a horrible film, but at least it was unintentionally funny. That all changes when Santa begins to tell the story of Thumbelina to the kids. This story, which we see visually of course, is longer than Santa's story. It takes us to a theme park where a song about what a girl would do if she were Thumbelina plays, while we see some of the rides. We're then told the story through a speaker where a small model of the character's house is on display. We learn of how she was created by a witch for her spinster mother, getting kidnapped by a frog. People in bird costumes who may do the worst acting I've ever seen, and almost see her have to marry a mole. Once the ghastly retelling is over, the kids finally come up with the idea of calling in the Ice Cream Bunny to help. Jay Clark stars as Santa, and Shay Garner, who at least is easy on the eyes and nice to look at, plays Thumbelina. Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny could have been a cult Christmas movie tradition, but it's far too horrible to sit through once a year. It's truly one of the worst films I've ever seen. I'm gonna give it the rating of... Santa, you know what? You put me on the naughty list, but I'm giving you 2 words. Suck it. Alright, well that's all the time for this week. I'll be back next week with my review of In the Heart of the Sea, as well as whatever else may pop up. I'm gonna do another Christmas movie, another random review. It won't be too random because it's gonna be a Christmas movie. But we're gonna have Moby Dick. We're gonna have this Dick reviewing movies, a Christmas movie, whatever. Like I said, whatever else may pop up. I got the Vatican tapes to review soon. And we'll see whatever else happens. So Until next time, don't forget to subscribe right here on YouTube. youtube.com/westside515. Like the Facebook page, facebook.com/WestTroopaList. Follow me on the Twitter and the Instagram @WesAList. And of course, you can buy my book. It's coming out soon. You can pre-order. Just message me or something. That's how official I am. 2015 Movie Yearbook, baby. Over 150 reviews, only $10 plus shipping. Look for it soon in the next month. Yeah, awesome. So, Tito, what do you got to say? You got to say anything? That's what I thought. Until next time, Troop out.